The vice president has a deeply personal decision to make as to who she wants to run with, who she wants to govern with. She'll make that decision when she's ready based on the factors that she thinks are the right ones.
I've talked with her about winning in November. Her process on vice president selection, we have not talked about.
This is not about me, but I've always, always when I've had, the chance to serve, I think that's very important to do.
Tonight, NBC reports there are about 12 names under consideration for the Democratic vice presidential nomination. But according to sources familiar with the campaign, Vice President Harris has winnowed the list to Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, and Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona as the top contenders. Joining me now is Mark Leibovich, staff writer for The Atlantic. Mark, it is great to see you. Thank you for being here. I know that you are disappointed that there was not an open convention for the top slot on the ticket, but perhaps the fierce competition for the second slot is giving you some solace. I do wonder if it is inevitable that this is a white man summer as far as it concerns Kamala Harris's running mate.
Yeah, I'm just happy that there's a bald guy named Mark who seems to be on the short list. So I guess I'm a Mark Kelly guy. No, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, everything is happening in such a condensed time frame here, and which is kind of appropriate because these sweepstakes stories tend to drag out for months, and they don't really need to drag out for months. I mean, people sort of operate from the same short list, and I think Kamala Harris knows what she is probably looking for, what the other part of the ticket needs to look like. So, yeah, we'll see. I think I think the decision will probably come close to the convention, and it will probably be something that propels her further, beyond the initial honeymoon period that she seems to be getting.
The front runner is Josh Shapiro here. Am I right? I mean, I'll just read an excerpt from the Cook Political Report stats on Shapiro. According to exit polls, Shapiro won 15% of voters who went for Trump in 2020, and he carried independents by nearly 2-1. Shapiro ran ahead of Biden by 10 points or more in over half of the state's 67 counties, including many traditionally Republican areas. I mean, I know people always say, vice presidents can't make or break a ticket, but in this moment, it sort of seems like that kind of information is very, very relevant.
Yeah, those numbers certainly get your attention, and I think typically in recent cycles, that running mate can bring you this state kind of model has been a little bit de-emphasized because I think it's more of a kind of a broader, holistic message. Sometimes you don't know what the demographics are that you're going to appeal to. But Pennsylvania is so utterly important to this election. Shapiro is so dominant in those numbers. It obviously gives him a leg up here. I wouldn't completely sleep on, obviously, Kelly, but also a guy like Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, who, if you've watched him in recent days, has given a very compelling message about, first of all, going after the other side, but he has a very kind of folksy, adult, Midwestern bearing about him that I think could couple very well. But look, it seems like, Kamala Harris has a pretty good field to choose from here. And if the first rule of a running mate is do no harm, and it looks like J.D. Vance might be violating that first rule, it's certainly an opportunity, I think, for Kamala Harris.
When you find yourself having to repeatedly explain your comments about childless cat ladies in national media forums, then I think that means you're losing. But Mark, to the point of vetting, as a national political reporter yourself, I mean, what is happening behind the scenes here as she vets these candidates? I mean, there's so little time and there's so much scrutiny. I would imagine there's a lot of cloak and dagger that is happening right now, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's happening very quietly, but it's also happening very quickly. I mean, like I said, the time frame is pretty condensed. What's also interesting is that you just sort of wonder how closely J.D. Vance was vetted by the other side. I mean, vetting these days is not so much, getting a team of 30 lawyers and, looking back over every single thing in your record. A lot of it's just looking at social media, looking at interviews you've done. And, people like J.D. Vance, and I think that the cat lady comment was made to Tucker Carlson. I mean, you get very comfortable in these bubbles. I mean, there's not a lot of challenging that goes on in these interviews. And I think that people fall into traps where not only do they say things they later regret, but they don't apologize for them. I mean, I heard those Megyn Kelly comments today from Vance about, I have nothing against cats, and I assumed it was a joke, but it was actually something he said. So, yeah, part of being a good running mate is to know when you screw up and know how to walk it back, and that's not really part of the ethic of the Donald Trump team at this point.
I feel, Mark, that the whole Harris sort of the development of the ticket and even the selection of a running mate is the case for having a shorter campaign cycle. She's going to be able to strategically choose someone who can help her in the areas that she knows from polling are her weakest.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, and we've heard this over and over again since that debate, and since this has been sort of seen as a possibility, we've been reminded that there are elections in a lot of democracies, whether it's England, whether it's France, that take a whole lot less time than we do. I mean, they even take a lot less time between now and the election. So, yeah, this can be done. And there's no proof that like the decisions are any worse. And I think I would welcome that going forward. Sure.
Even though it would mean fewer Mark Leibovich stories from the campaign trail, which is bad for the country. Mark Leibovich, man of many words. Thank you for making the time, my friend.